Welcome back, everybody, to another Anheuser-Busch production video here. This is round 3, and it's going to be the front 9 of the Blind Hog Spring Thaw tournament played in beautiful Waynesville, North Carolina. And as always, I am joined with my commentary partner, Paul Rankin, aka Paul Kevin. Go ahead and say hey to everybody, Paul.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching.
There is the leaderboards. Nick Morgan lit it up that second 9 as well, shooting a 990 rated 50 that time, 18 under. He has a 5-stroke lead over his next closest competitor. We have Nick Morgan, Dathan, Witherspoon, Blane Light, and Denese snuck his way onto the open front, or the lead card of the open people. Division. Thank you. I couldn't find that word. Thanks, Paul Kevin. That's why I bring you on here. Is that way so you can help me out with some English, because obviously not my first language.
I don't need any of my own sentences. I can just finish yours all day.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Hole 1 coming up right here. Seen it all week. Says 375. More. It plays closer to about 450 or so. Nick Morgan stepping up. Lefty backhand. This is Sunday. We have much nicer conditions on Sunday. Actually, jacket came off for a lot of the day on Sunday for myself. It was a nice day to play.
Yeah, it looks like the sun came out. Hopefully things have dried up a bit. The ground might still be soggy, but it's definitely improvement from the first and second rounds.
It is definitely still a bit soggy. We actually had to wait to start this round. Most of the time, you know, your second day rounds are going to start around 10 o'clock like a normal disc golfing round would, but because of frost, we had to wait to start until about 11:30 on Sunday, because we are playing on a ball golf course. We have to respect all the ball golf, you know, just little stipulations that they have. And Nick nearly made his 110-footer that he had, bounces it off the top, but because of all the stipulations that a ball golf course has, we had to wait for quite a while before we could actually start our final round.
Yeah, and with the rules they have, you know, I don't know all the details, but you got to respect the owners of the property, not to tear up the course playing our disc golf.
Exactly. We are guests of their course, and that's something that's hard for. Nice putt from Dathan. Good, too, to start off your day. Already making one up on Nick right there. But we are guests of their course. We want to make sure we respect their property and for the opportunity to play more disc golf on this course, which would be amazing. It was a very, very fun course to play on. Nick, 18 under. Dathan, after the nice birdie, moves to 14. Blane at 12. And Danny at 10 under par. And I want to mention Danny. He is, he's actually a sponsored player. I'm trying to remember exactly which company he was. I'm going to pull up. He sent me a list of like every single disc he threw at one point. I'm going to go pull it up. Paul Kevin, you'll probably be able to help me out. What company is Omega? The putter?
That's Millennium.
Millennium, thank you. He's a Millennium sponsor. Big shout out to Danny being a Millennium sponsor out there. He told me, he's like, I want to get the Millennium name out there. So he's told me like every single disc he has thrown on all of these holes and whatnot. It's pretty cool for him right there. Danny,
it's awesome.
He actually steps up.
A cool company. It's good to see some smaller companies get some sponsored players out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of the discs they throw.
Yeah, even though he's Millennium sponsor, he walks up throwing a turn right here. I'm not 100% sure how much of his bag has to be Millennium and whatnot, but he's definitely a big advocate for them. I know he's always saying stuff like, dude, like I love the Omega and whatnot. So it's very, very cool to already have a sponsored player on this channel.
Yeah, it is an interesting relationship. Millennium being sort of a sister or daughter company of Innova in the Discmania vein, so there's a lot of overlap in those companies and players' bags. Yeah,
a lot of pars coming in for everybody right here. This hole, I don't know if there was a single 2 on it all weekend. It was a tough spot for it to be in, being behind this bush. If they had pushed it up a little bit or moved it out, it might have been a little bit of a challenging par 3, but gettable. But where it was just more like play for your 3.
Yeah, it looked like a hole that nobody was really getting too close to in any of these rounds.
For sure
not. Throw into a good place and leave yourself an upshot for a stress-free par.
And here is the first real gettable par 3 on the course. It's about a 300-footer. Has a lot of turn to the left. It was pretty difficult to get it all the way to the hole. Dathan puts a nice one out there, though. Nick throwing a hyzer as well. And once again, he is a ambidextrous player. You'll see him throw left and right-handed all throughout the the day, and it's very interesting to watch him play. Blane steps up, very nice backhand hyzer for him as well, and we have Denese throwing an Orion LF right here off the tee shot, going low and gets a nice skip. He'll have a putt at 2.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's got to be pretty close. This being the farthest putt. It wasn't really what you want to see from Nick there.
No, for sure not. And Dathan.
Oh no.
Kind of.
That's got to be rough.
Yeah, flashbacks to round 1. He missed a couple short ones to start off his tournament in round 1 and misses a short one right there on hole 3. A little bit blurry. Sorry about that.
This basket does have a little bit of elevation in it.
It does.
I wouldn't call it an elevated basket, but just that slight difference. Sometimes if you don't take the time to think about it, just go up and do your standard putt that you've practiced in your backyard, you're not going to account for that height difference. So it might have got Dathan there.
Yeah, and I believe it did. It was sitting on a little bit of a stump, so it messed with him a little. Here's hole 4, 330-footer. Not too much danger until you get up by the basket. And about 15 to 20 feet behind it is that OB path. And if you find your way on that path at any point, you are OB. You can be over it, though. That is fine. We have Blane stepping up. He threw a nice thumber in round 2. This one comes up a little bit shorter, but he'll have a putt.
Yeah, still a great-looking overhand. It looks like he's playing that. I'm not sure how confident he is in his backhand distance. You mentioned he's not a power thrower. I'm sure he could get it there, but an overhand seems like a safer way to play it short, not worry about skipping or rolling towards that OB.
Yep, for sure. I know I struggled with the OB in round 1. I threw a nice flick, landed it up by the basket, but it skipped OB for me. So, hey, he avoids it, and Nick avoids it as well with a beautiful lefty backhand right there. Yeah.
Fortunate to stay in bounds there. Missing the basket by right or left and hitting those nubs. A lot of times you'll see it just land on end and roll. So Dathan avoided that.
For sure, for sure. We had a couple very nice 2s from really the rest of the card except for Dathan. Well, we'll see what Nick can do, actually. We had Blane and Danny already tap out their 2s, and Nick taps in his as well.
Yeah, and this hole seems like a really good 2 to get.
It is.
One that you feel like you should get, but there's enough in your way to make it tricky.
And here is hole 5. This one, very shortest hole on the entire course, but a lot of danger. All the bunkers play as hazard. If you're on the green, you're OB, and if you are over the path, you are OB as well.
Yeah, so it takes a really controlled first shot.
Yep.
It seems right up Blane's alley, and he puts it there by the pin, it looks like.
Sure does. Here is Denese throwing an Omega off the tee right here. Nick goes lefty, a little bit of a hyzer shot, and has a nice one. You'll see that CTP flag right there. That was for some advanced division. I'm not 100% sure which one. It might have been the women's division, but no pro CTPs on this course, sadly. We're not loved. That's all right. Well, I digress.
Regardless of whether anybody got the CTP, it looks like everybody's going to be getting their birds.
Yeah, they should be. Good putts already from Nick and Dathan. Danny should tap that one out with his Omega. And Blane, probably just going to tap it out with his driver. Or, well, I don't know what he threw off the tee box, but maybe a putter.
Yeah, it's good to walk up to a basket with only your mini in hand. It's a good feeling.
For sure. Now we move on to hole 6. 20 under for Nick, 15 under for Dathan, 15 under for Blane. And Danny sneaking up there, 13 under. He's already 3 under on the round. Hole 6 is the first par 4. It looks a little rainy in the video because I filmed this one on Friday while it was still raining. The rest of the video, or drone footage video after this, is going to be on Sunday whenever it was nice and sunny. Here's Blane taking the route that I still kind of am curious as to what is going on in his mind. I don't know why he doesn't play it up the middle with his type of style of play, but he made it work all weekend, so I shouldn't question it too much.
Yeah, I guess for him, that's the play out there to the right. And, that's something you really got to admire is when someone figures out the line that works for them and they stick to their game plan. They're not changing it based on what other people are doing.
Nick, I'm hoping you can hear it in the video. As soon as he threw that one, he knew he turned it over way too much. Just started saying, no, 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 just so many times in a row. It's kind of funny. It still turned out to be a very nice shot.
Yeah, he got a lot of distance down there, so he shouldn't have to worry about his upshot. But that is an unsettling feeling when you release a disc and immediately know that you didn't do what you wanted.
Here's Blane. I don't think his shot changed the entire weekend. I think he landed it in the exact same spot, and his upshot was to the exact same spot all weekend. He takes threes the entire time. Everyone, everyone.
Maybe we should question why nobody else is going on the right gap. Looks like we've got it figured out.
Everyone laid up, and we'll have easy threes on this hole. It's nice being able to tap in an easy birdie, which this one is a questionable par 4. It was about 520 feet, so it's kind of par 4 distance, but nothing really in your way, so you can argue a par 3 on this one, but it's a tweener.
Yeah, and we had already seen a couple of eagles on it in previous rounds, so it's definitely gettable, but
very much so.
I would agree. And for a tournament, you've got to think, who are you really setting the par according to? If it's the open players, then I would say it's a par 3, but the rest of the field is playing it as well. And if you're in the rec division, that's certainly not a par 3 for you.
For sure. Now we're on to hole 7. 275-footer plays in between the two pines. You also have a shot to go out and around the pines if you would like. We're going to step up here. Blane, we already saw his thumber once. He got a birdie with it, and he's throwing another one. And right into the first pine tree on the right.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't really carry over that bush like he intended to. So he'll have an interesting putt contending with that bush.
And Denese is going to step up with an Aurora MS on this hole. Didn't see where that one ended up. I believe it was decent, though. And Nick, taking a little bit of a page out of Blane's book, goes for the overhand, but his comes up a little bit on the right-hand side.
Yeah, unfortunately, his was too similar to Blane's, and he also caught the bush.
Yep. And Dathan said, hey, I want to try this bush out over here.
Dathan pushed it a little wide, so we've got 3 players trying to fight through the bushes to get their pars.
Yeah.
Or birdies if they have an angle.
Yeah, Dathan had nothing. He had to actually try a little flick roller. Here's Denese's putt from range. Oh, banded it. Good bid, though.
Yeah, it looked like he had an open putt at that one, but still a long putt and hard to hit.
Nick's actually pretty open as well, and he hits the band as well. It's got a magnet on it.
This basket is just not too thrilled about anybody putting on it.
I think we're going to say this basket was actually sitting in a hole. That's the only reason people are missing high.
I'll go along with that.
Yeah.
It's like Blane would agree with you there.
Yeah, I believe he would as well.
Basket. Let's see if Dathan can save his par on this one. That was a tough upshot from him. He couldn't quite get it all the way there, but
I'm telling you,
it's high as well.
It's sitting in a hole. Oh, and he hits band on his 4 putt as well. It was hard to see. We didn't really catch it on video, but he hit band. He's going to tap in a double bogey on this hole.
Yeah, and this is definitely not a score you want, especially on a short hole like this that really should be a birdie hole if you play it well. There's
Danny doing a little showmanship for the camera. 21 for Nick, 14 for Dathan, 16 for Blane, and Danny finds himself at 14 under par as well. Drone footage on this hole. Green is OB. The what is this called? A river, little creek, is OB, and if you were on the path, you were OB as well. Here's Blane stepping up to hole 8, 275 foot.
Yeah, and you had this one dialed in last round, so see if you can put it close again. It looks like a good line.
It was. I believe he was in bounds. Nick steps up. He threw into the creek last round. See if there's corrections made. Oh, yeah. He's fine as well. Should have a nice 2-putt on that one.
Looked like a good shot from Nick. We'll see what Danny does. Looks like a putter or a mid-range hand for him.
An Omega that he's throwing. Woo! My goodness.
The chains.
For sure.
It's a good shot from Danny.
He's safe, and Dathan steps up. His is inching a little bit to the left. That one was OB, sadly.
Oh, wow. Looks like Danny really carried on that shot.
But, hey, over the path is fine. Big 2-putt for him coming up. Once again, throwing that Omega of his. Taking his time with this one, wants to make sure he has the line. Luckily, the wind had died down for this third round.
Wow, what a great putt from Danny.
And he makes it count.
From past the OB, that's got to be outside the circle for sure, maybe a 40-footer.
And here is Dathan trying to hit his 3.
High again.
Yep. This one might be sitting in a hole as well, I'm not sure. Oof. High for Blane. That one was a very surprising miss for me. Watching Blane putt the entire weekend, I just never saw him miss. So whenever I was going back through this video, I was like, wow, he actually missed a putt every once in a while. It surprised me all the time. So Nick and Danny have very nice 2s. Dathan and Blane have to settle. Actually, excuse me, Dathan had to take a bogey on that hole after his OB, and Blane settled for par. So now on to hole 9. It was pushed back today. It was about 50 or 60 feet back from this location that you were seeing currently.
So the players are going to not have to worry too much about the pond, it sounds like. Still be throwing over it somewhat, but the basket's not going to be close enough that you're aiming for it.
But
so that's got to be a relief for them.
Yeah, the trees on the left do come into play, and Nick found himself into them. And Danny loves his Omega, steps up, throws one to about 5 feet.
Yeah, that was a great shot from him, just throwing a putter straight at it. Looks like Blaine's trying a similar line. Looks like he might have come in a little short, but...
Yeah, he's probably about 40 short or so. And Dathan gives this thing a pretty good run. A little short himself, but he should have a birdie right there.
Yeah, that's a great looking line from Dathan, holding that Annie all the way to the ground.
Nick steps up and just short right. He'll have a tap in 3. Here's Blane from way downtown. Little floater and in.
Oh, wow. Leans over to pick up Mini before disc even hits. That confidence.
Yeah, that's something you love to see, and I guarantee you he's not one to get a lot of spit out, so he doesn't really have to worry too much about that.
Yeah, the way his putt comes in nice and soft.
Yep.
It's got to be nice.
Danny
tapping in his birdie. It's pretty nice. Dathan will try to do the same.
And does. A little bit low left, but hey, a 2 is a 2. And Nick's going to have to settle, even though he's got the lead for the entire tournament. He's got to have to settle for the only par on hole 9 right here. And that is going to do it for our front 9 coverage of the third round. Nick at 22 under, Blane at 17 under, Danny lighting it up 6 under so far on the front 9, and Dathan, he's back at 14 under par. Back 9 will be coming soon. Paul, Kevin, once again, thank you so much for joining me here on Anheuser-Busch Productions, man.
Thanks, it was fun. Looking forward to the back 9.
Yeah, and that will be coming very, very soon, folks. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Catch you soon.